Thanks very much, Jason. Steph, first time here, two-time defending champ. Great to see you. First match here. How would you grade your performance today?
Well, I'm not really used to play with such wind in Monte Carlo. That is something that occurred to me for the very first time. It was challenging when it first happened, but I overcame it, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I think we were both dealing with these conditions. I mean, simultaneously at the same time. So I'm glad I was the one that was able to return more serves, find some solutions when things were kind of getting tight and close. And I did have a few games that quite disappointing that I wasn't able to convert them. Love 40, I think, twice on his serve. He served really well on these points, big points that he had. But overall, my assessment, great first match in Monte Carlo.
Yeah, look, he's been playing some fantastic tennis on the clay, so I thought it was a very strong performance today. As you mentioned, coming two-time defending champ here, is it feeling a little more on the pressure side or a little bit more on the aura side?
Look, when you're playing in front of such a lovely crowd, in perhaps I would say one of the best Masters 1000s of the year in terms of view, in terms of glamour, in terms of how pristine it is.
Yeah.
I think you just forget about everything else. And having played here for a few years, I always keep coming back and just feeling the overall just vibe. It corresponds so well to my game. I'm so happy to be playing in these courts. I grew up coming here as a kid, so it always brings back good memories when I step out on the court. It gives me sort of a nice little nostalgia of how I used to be standing up there, sitting actually, not standing, watching my favorite players. So no, to make it simpler, no, I don't feel any of that.
Nothing like good vibes to make you start playing some great tennis. Do we have a status on the shoulder? How are we feeling health-wise?
Shoulder is feeling great. I'm happy that I overcame that injury. It's way better than it was in the US swing. It was challenging and difficult, very difficult times that I had to, overcome. But thank God I'm back, feeling healthy again, and I can pretty much say I can play back to 100%.
Now, listen, speaking of the US, I love a good riddle. Okay, but maybe you can help explain to me. Clay court in the U.S. is like a unicorn on a skateboard. I don't think I've ever seen a unicorn on a skateboard, but can you help us out here a little bit?
I think it's quite clear. I don't have to further explain what's going on.
So the clay is it's a little different here in Europe, you would say.
It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. You have it at all country clubs. It's such a traditional surface in Europe. I just wish we would see more clay courts in the U.S. I know it's not traditional there. They have what is it? Gray. Some call it gray.
Gray. It's green. It's green most of the green clay.
It's gray. You see, that's also another controversial thing over there. I see it gray. Some other people see it green. Well, you do have that. But I'd love to see a tournament in the U.S. on the red clay. Absolutely.
We've had a couple of our guys, Jim Courier, Chang, who've been able to do some damage on the red
Absolutely,
stuff. But it's tougher if you don't have much red clay in the U.S. Steph, you're obviously a resident here as well. You spend a lot of time here. A lot of the residents here, there are different pros and cons. For you, your favorite thing about having this tournament as your home tournament here?
My favorite thing about the tournament itself, or just living in Monte Carlo?
Being able to have this, as you said, pristine Masters 1000, but in your home.
I just feel very lucky because we play so many tournaments during the entire year. We're sort of locked in cities, in big, massive cities, and you feel like you're on an island here. You're just right next to the beach. You have the sea view while you're playing tennis. I don't think there's a tournament like this in the world. I was trying to think about it the other day. Nothing comes to my mind. I mean, Barcelona is a very nice tournament in terms of like you're playing in a club, as opposed to some other tournaments where you play in venues, fixed venues that are only just for the tournament. That's what makes it so spectacular playing here. I think you have both Italians and French people coming to support the players and watch the tennis. So you have like a blend of cultures come together. This spot of the world has always been traditionally hosting tournaments and has had a big, massive tradition in tennis. I think the country club itself dates back to, what is it? mid 1850s, somewhere there. So I don't want to say anything wrong, but very, very traditional tennis club, yeah.
Beautiful. Now, Steph, just before I let you go, we've been getting a lot of messages. We have footage from you from all over the tournament, and we had some of you preparing for the match as well. And people want to know, how do they apply? How do they interview or audition to be able to become the one that applies suntan lotion all over you? Is this a difficult job to get? What are the requirements here?
Well, it's you need to recruit, obviously. It takes a few. It takes a few months. You start
few months?
a few months. Yeah, you start off as an intern, and you work your way up. My guy Louis,
Louis!
has been putting a lot of work to get this perfect, and it's a very selective job that can go wrong if you're not willing to really put all of your attention and focus on it.
Steph, listen, that's the most entertaining answer I've heard in a long time. Great to see you in such great spirits. Glad to see you healthy, and best of luck. Hope to see you back.
Prakash. Thank you.
There it is. Louis
I can't believe
doing
it.
his job before the match.
That's called stalking.